Hey guys, I'm Rob. This is Dr.M Studio. I am going to try to see if I can get this motor to turn over. It went through a flood in western Minnesota in the mid-90s, and I got the truck and I parked it. Didn't do anything with it. So I figured the first thing I need to do is pull the plugs and drop some seafoam in there and let that sit for a few days. Let's take a look at some of these spark plugs. Here's the number 2 cylinder. It's kind of dark there and crusty. This one's kind of tan. That doesn't look too bad. Not the worst plug I've seen in my life. That one's kind of totally there. All right, number 1 cylinder. Not too bad. So hit and miss. Some grungy ones, some not so bad ones. I borrowed a remote starter from a friend of mine. The other end is connected to the starter. Purple wire, GM, comes from the ignition. And this end's gonna go to the positive. I just need to know if this thing turns over. Charged up the battery somewhat. Fire in the hole. Awesome. Hey. All right, one step closer. We're gonna drop the oil and we're gonna work on getting some plugs in there, and later on we'll see if we can't fire it up. Hook up a remote gas tank maybe, at least put some gas on the carb. Anyway, let's get this, let's drop the oil here. I'm gonna grab this 9/16. There we go. Let's see what we get out of this thing. This oil's been in there for, hey, 20-some years. Well, at least it's got oil. All right, let that drain. I'm gonna try to get this oil filter off here. Oh, look at that. Nice. Right, hot dog. There it is. All right. While the oil is draining, I've got these spark plugs. These came out of low mileage big block. Well, it's always something. Got the first spark plug in. I can't get the spark plug socket off, so all right, let's try these puppies. Well, there's always something. Well, I got to get something with a little bit more teeth on it than those needle nose, so maybe these two will do the job on the number 6 plug. I'll try to grab the whole socket. Come on, that thing. All right, I'm gonna put the camera down here. I can't get that done here. I'll show it to you when I get done. Wow, this thing was stuck. Oh, I'm taking that rubber grommet out of there. I know it's supposed to protect the porcelain, but my lordy. Should have been done with this half hour ago or more. Okay, now we'll get back to work. Remember I was draining the oil from the truck, had the pan underneath there, catching the oil. I dropped the spark plug. Oh. All right, let's see if we can't get this thing accomplished and get this thing fired up. Well, that took some perseverance. I won't say it was hard, probably frustrating. One brand new oil filter, and tight. Okay. Did it land on the ground or do? Oh, there it is. Rubber's pretty hard. See if we can make it slip a little bit. Everything's difficult. Okay, this is next. This is a return line back to the tank. This is the feed line from the tank. And this goes up to the carburetor. So my goal is to take this off. Let's see if I can get that cleaned up. And I can put a fresh hose on there and draw from the clean tank. I don't want to run any varnish fuel that's in the tank now for the last 20 some years. So I gotta clean this thing up. Now let's see what happens. comes. As long as I can plug up the hose and get the hose clamped here. Come on. Okay. All right, I gotta put the phone down here. I'm gonna put a filter like that. Yeah. Oh, you can smell the turpentine. Oh. Take a look at this. On the carburetor, sitting on the manifold. Figure I better vacuum it up. Okay, I got a new battery. Got direct connections. Gonna turn this over, see if fuel comes out. The key is off right now. I'm just looking to see if this thing will pump. Let's see what happens. It'll take a little while. There it is, I got fuel coming. Yep, there it is, excellent. Okay, 5/8 on this line coming from the fuel pump. Hello. I better put something in there. One gallon of water, and I can see some level. No way. Second gallon. Add some more. That's that, I guess. Yeah, that's probably a good sign. Or let that settle. I'll check brake fluid here. $30 It's tight on there. Tap that a little bit. Dirt crust on there. There. Let's see what it's got here. Oh yeah, look at that. Front is okay. Back is empty. All right, at least there's something in the front. Sure, those brake cylinders on the rear wheels probably leaked out over time. Let's put some fluid in there. Okay, we've got that cover back on. Let's check the transmission fluid. Well, what's that? What do I see there? Okay, so what I got, I wiped off the dipstick, put it back down the hole, and I am at just below adding 1 quart. So if I added 1 quart, I'd probably be in the range. Now take a look at that fluid in there. Remember, this truck went through a flood. I'm thinking the transmission fluid looks okay. I know it's been sitting there for a while, but I'm hoping that transmission held up through the floodwaters coming up to it. Let's go get a quart. I'm kind of disappointed here. I don't have any transmission fluid. All right, that'll have to wait. Keys on. Okay, I'm sure there's not fuel in that bowl, so let's throw some starting fluid in there. 25 years. Let's see what happens here. Let's get some more fuel. Fuel in there. Sounds like it. I don't see it there, but all right, let me put this down. Come on, you can come to life now. Come on. Okay. Starving for fuel, looks like. I don't remember if I changed that filter. There's a filter in here going to the front of the carb. Who knows? Bowl's probably gummed up. But I'm gonna pull this off. So I'll pull this line and this large hex right here and pull that filter off, plug everything back in. I'm running pure 91 out of there, so no gunk in there. And I just want to see if I can get some more sustained runnability. I'll be back when I get that apart. Okay, here's what's in that 402, or in any of these early big blocks. That spring goes into the housing of the carb, and you got the filter, and then the big larger hex cap goes on top of that. Let's see what happens here. Key is on. Look at that. That ran longer. Nice. It seemed a little better. Okay, I came into the garage to cool off a little bit. Nice day out today. Starts up on its own, as you saw, but it doesn't stay idling. The accelerator pump seems to be a little improved. You know, just using it more may be helping it out. Maybe throwing some seafoam in there. I only had a quarter can. I put that in there. Maybe that helped. I don't know. I know it's still not great. There's a little, there's pause yet in the acceleration. But I'm thinking maybe, and I'm not a carburetor guy, but I know there's idle adjustment screws, and I don't want to mess with them on the adjustments per se, but I wonder if the idle jets are plugged. So I got some research to do, and I got a friend I can call. All right, let's see what happens. I'll be back. Okay, I'm crawling underneath. I had to take a look at this fuse box. Got the carburetor put on, and as you saw, the fuse block is so corroded. I gotta do something different with it. I gotta get a different one. So I disconnected it here. There's no connection to this engine harness here. So I am going to start it. I'm going to bypass the ignition. So I got a cable wire from the positive side of the coil. We'll put that onto the positive side of the battery. Battery negative is hooked up to the block. Battery positive is hooked up to the starter down below. My remote start switch is set to fire off that solenoid on the starter. Basically, I got to crank it enough to get some fuel into that carburetor, so it's not going to start right away. It'll take a little while. Hopefully we fire it, keep it running. My goal to shut it off, disconnect that red wire that's attached to the coil. Hopefully. Sounds pretty good with those turbos on there.
Right, it's alive. I'm happy.
Well, that was fun. A little tedious at times, but such projects like this, that happens. I love these 67 to 72 Chevy trucks. I want to try to keep them on the road. That rebuilt carburetor came through in the clutch and really answered the call for keeping this 402 big block running. The next phase on this truck is I got to get the carburetor tuned and double check the timing, but the alternator isn't charging the battery because of the electrical system. So I got to dance around with that a little bit. I don't know if I'm going to start with the electrical and putz with that and get the engine compartment and the cab taken care of first, or just start timing it and just keep recharging the battery up with the battery charger. Either way, we'll get some new content on this heavy half 72 Chevy Custom Deluxe truck out there to you. So really appreciate you guys watching. Give a thumbs up if you love these videos and these trucks. If you haven't subscribed, I really appreciate you doing so. Hit the notification bell and you will get immediate notification when that next video comes down the pipe. So I'm Rob, you're watching Dr. M Studio. Until next time.